you guys are in Texas right now, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Now, I want to know, I attended a press conference with you guys before the show kicked off last year, and you guys were really confident that you had a great show, but there was a little bit of an unsureness about how it would play with old fans, and as you know, it took off like gangbusters, and I'm wondering, why do you think it has just resonated so well with the old audience as well as the new audience?
Yeah, there was definitely a little bit of trepidation back in those early days, but I think they balanced the original characters with the new characters exceptionally well, and it's really all in the writing. They really just segued from the original series 21 years later perfectly, and it fulfilled what the original fans of the show were hoping for and what they were looking for, and then I think it also found a new audience.
Well, and what has it meant for you guys to actually be shooting in Texas? I know the original, they shot some exteriors there. Most of it was shot in Hollywood, I think. Now you guys shoot a lot of it in Texas, and I know that means, I have in-laws in Texas, and that means a lot to them.
Oh, that's
I'm wondering
really
what
cool.
it means to you guys and creating your characters.
I think less in terms of creating our characters, but for me, I just love the fact that we get to shoot at Southfork. Then we're shooting at Highland Park Village, and it's fun for locals because they can be like, oh, I know that place, and that's for real. And the skyline in Texas is kind of difficult to duplicate, so it's great that we get to shoot in all these high rises and have these beautiful backdrops. I think it makes a world of difference.
Well, do you also get to see some of the people that you're portraying on screen kind of pull from them in that environment?
Not so much for my character, because I really feel like my character is probably a little bit of the black sheep of the family in that he's not a real traditional Texan per se. He's pretty well traveled and kind of was educated abroad, as is established in the first season. But it is an interesting character study working out here and observing,
It's a different culture for
the
sure.
people of Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different from Los Angeles, that's for sure.
Well, and now when we left you guys last season, Christopher and Elena were together. And John Ross is trying to break them apart in this first episode. You kind of take me through how this relationship is going to kind of push this season through and sort of what's going to happen here.
Well, there's so much instability in season 2 because there's so many twists and turns, and there are new villains and there are new characters joining the cast. But Christopher and Elena remain pretty stable. Luckily, the writers have made us happy for at least a good chunk of season 2, and I think the audience really wanted that because they were just torn apart in season 1, and they weren't together, and that was kind of gut wrenching. So I'm very happy to be in my honeymoon phase with Christopher right now. Mm-hmm.
Well, now, how is John Ross going to come in there and kind of wreck this? Can you give us a little bit hint of what we're going to see along those lines?
He's not, if I have anything to say about it. He tries to get his jabs in there, but like Jordana said, we're pretty stable in the beginning of the first season. If anything, I think we start to find each other at odds concerning business.
Now, I think one of the fun things about the show is just how much stuff you guys pack into each episode. How hard is it for even you guys to keep up with what's going on and all of the characters and what's happening? Do you guys kind of focus just on where you're at, or are you paying attention to the whole scheme?
You have to pay attention to the whole scheme. For me personally, it's hard to keep track of what I know as an actor on the show and what Elena is privy to, because those are two completely different things. Yeah. So that can be pretty hard. And then sometimes, I'm like, well, what was this thing that happened in season 1? Like sometimes we just have to have our memory refreshed.
In dealing with the death of JR, about mid-season in episode 8, there really is a confluence of storylines that you really need to pay attention in order to not get lost. It really brings together a lot of different storylines and a lot of different characters, and sets in motion some great storylines that take us through to the end of the second season.
Well, has that set up the show in a way that it's kind of twisted it in a different and put it in a different direction, or is it going to continue in the direction that the writers
Absolutely. I mean, it was definitely an unexpected tragedy, and certainly a curveball for the writers, where they had to go back and rewrite basically the entire second season. But a lot of those major themes, are still part of the show, you know, but it did kind of take everything into a bit of a different direction.
Now, how far into the season are you guys in terms of shooting season 2? Are you guys completely done?
We're about 2/3 of the way through.
2/3 of the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the episodes that are coming up soon, do you guys have a favorite scene that you're really excited for the fans to see that you think is going to kind of is a game changer that's going to just shock? So you guys have endings of every episode that are kind of cliffhangers.
I think for my character, the introduction of this NASCAR storyline, basically Christopher's developed a methane-powered NASCAR that he's using as a publicity stunt to get this big fuel contract with the Dallas Committee of Transportation. That's a storyline that I think really brings a lot of energy to the show, and I think people are really going to be blown away with the visuals that are coming with that.
And Jordana, do you have a moment?
I really liked getting in the Southfork Pool because I was a huge fan of the original, and I know Bobby was constantly in that pool,
yeah.
And Pamela. So I felt very lucky, and I felt like, you know, the baton was being passed, and it was really fun to shoot a scene at the pool.
And are there any surprise cameos coming up? Maybe you can't tell me about them because they are surprises.
There are lots of surprise cameos.
Why?
Well, a lot of mistresses from JR's past, actually.
Well, there's Falcon Crest people coming in too. Am I wrong?
I don't know if we can confirm or deny that.
No.
Knots Landing.
Okay, Jesse just gave it away.
Knots Landing.
No. Okay. Well, that's my time, guys. Thanks so much for coming on and chatting with me.
You got it.
Thank you.